Hello guys. Today I'm gonna talk about the Gemini new moon a bit, and Mercury with it, and then the Sag Full Moon with a square to the nodes of the moon, and we have the Cancer new moon. So these are like 27th of May is the new moon in Gemini. Sag is on the 11th. Sag full moon is on the 11th of June, and the Cancer new moon is on the 25th of June. Okie-doke. So, Gemini new moon on the 27th of May. We came out of the full moon in Scorpio. For me it was pretty heavy time, and at the same time I'm really also integrating more of what has been suppressed in me, like I was talking about, like how that might bring those themes up, like what is suppressed. And well, for me it has been the emotions in a lot of ways. Not only that, but but I'm starting to replace the belief of like being emotional is not acceptable, because it's important actually. And maybe some of us are here to feel more than others. Let me know what you think about that, if someone agrees about that, but I just wanted to voice that and see what you think about it. And with regards to Gemini, I mean, sure, it has to do with the details and like kind of have to do with like tricksters, and the devil is in the details, they say. But really what Gemini is about is the bridging between the opposites, or the different realms between the earth and the heavens. And Mercury, that is linked to Gemini, is the messenger of the gods, so like the personification of a messenger that brings, I guess, then the words, the communication, the details, so to speak. But in those details, it can bring the message from the other realms, from the unseen realms. But are we able to interpret them, though? Because we can get so lost in the words and in the details that we lose the bigger picture. So, in a way, with the moon there, I feel that if we wouldn't just use our mind to discern this, what is a helpful information and communication, it also needs to feel true. Can't just use the mind and the intellect to figure this out, this life. we need to trust how we feel about it too. And what really helps us to connect with our fullness, like to make those bridges between the realms within us, and thus connecting to the bigger wholeness of bigger groups of life. And not just human groups, also like the ecosystems and the environment that we are part of, the living landscape. So I guess that's the Uranus in Taurus. That's the Moon and Mercury will have passed before we get there to this new moon. And the Sun is actually still with Uranus kind of today when I'm recording this. So it makes sense that that kind of a bigger picture type thing is coming in too. Okay, this is also, looks like it's trining the North Node. We got Saturn there at the critical degree of Pisces, finishing this cycle of the zodiac. Soon, was it the 25th, moving into Aries. And joining Neptune there at the beginning of Aries, really taking the first little instinctive leaps into the new cycle. A kind of rebirth in a way. New beginning for this combo. So bringing the deep and the structural, the tangible together, the spiritual with the lived experience, and maturing in through finding our individual paths and maturing through that. We got Ceres there too. Ceres being having to do with the nurturance and farming, but also like the cycles of the year and how to best adapt to the natural cycles and the cycles of emotion, and how the emotions inform us of gravity in like what really matters. So maybe also like a big, huge new beginning for how we relate to our emotions in a way. I hope so. At least it is for me. And I don't think that it will ever be like done or over in my lifetime, at least, like the processing of emotions. Because there's so much in the collective fields too. It's not just my emotions and from my past lives. There's so much there, and my perspective is that it's so important to feel those emotions because they inform us in ways that nothing else can inform us in that deep way of really feeling it sensing, also being here, present in the moment. I have a Ceres in the 12th house too, with the moon. Well, they're not conjunct, but they're both there in the 12th. So I feel like a connection to the collective emotions. Don't know how rare that is, but that's how I interpret that placement anyways, from my own experience. That it links to the collective subconscious emotions. Yeah. So, also have here Venus pretty close to Chiron. So our relationships, the woundings with relationships might need to be aired out, those wounds, or checked up on the scars, and did we feel through all that? Did we heal it? Does it need some more processing, or some relating that could be healing for us coming up? And here Pallas moving forward from her conjunction with Pluto earlier this year, taking her first steps in the new cycle from that transformation. It's like she doesn't need to stay the same or be, even the stories and these characters, they can have new beginnings too, in a way. And we, or the sides of us that they represent in us, can have new beginnings. So the parts of us that have been suppressed or misled can have new beginnings. They can transform. So Pallas Athena is having that sort of a new beginning too, representing some feminine aspects that have been misled in the past. Yeah, we have Jupiter still in Gemini too, like I guess hopefully emphasizing like the need for this clarity about what is a trickster, other than wanting us to notice that it is tricking us, and wanting us to really discern and see what is a real bridge, what is really true. And yeah, I'd say so. And it's not so simple to always tell it apart, but I guess for me, through the emotions and the sensing that we, in the modern times, seems like it's shunned and set aside and not listened to as much as the mind. But maybe that can hopefully be changing, that we listen to both instead of just the mind. Because it doesn't give the full picture. So the first quarter then will be in Virgo. Here's Mars in Leo before that, where the moon will go over as well. So Leo bringing the light from within, the creativity, the fire from within, to express and to I would say, I guess, guide through our creativity, hopefully others to their own light within. We can all be fractals of the collective Leo creativity, sovereignty type energies. And then the first quarter asking us to discern with Virgo. Yeah. Taking action with what we have then discerned about, like the clarity from the mind and the heart, the emotions, combined wisdom, what to do, how to go forward. More clearly informed, and then letting go with the South Node, or maybe facing some things from the past to be able to again see clearer and move forward more informed. The full moon is going to be waxing through Scorpio. Could echo a bit from the last full moon. Some of that. What we need to, the deep places that we need to be facing and stepping into our own power, and to nurture our own stance, and about bringing back with Juno what was fragmented. Then we go into Sagittarius. Let's see. Sagittarius full moon. This is on the 11th of June. 20 degrees. Squaring the nodes of the moon. And illuminating maybe the exploration through experience further. But in a way, like, what about experiencing is still unintegrated? Maybe we didn't put it into perspective yet fully. Or our emotions need to take a step toward the letting go. In the third quarter with the North Node, well, I don't know, letting go, but in a way, yes. North Node in Pisces can have to do with, like, we need to let go. To some degree, surrender to the greater plan, or trusting in the flow of the life force, that it does know what it's doing, even if it doesn't always seem like that. But yeah, like also putting our experience into perspective. So then that would be here. The third quarter. Letting go of the letting go. I don't know. For me, Pisces Virgo axis has to do with the boundaries too a lot, and or lack of boundaries, boundarylessness. So maybe some of that needs to be clarified for us. What we need to feel safe, what kind of boundaries, and what is a healthy merging versus an unhealthy merging, or like a bond that is respectful versus where we give up too much or don't express our needs, or there are so many different variations, but I guess learning to express it would be one good part of it. Our individual needs, our individual experiences of the cycles with Ceres, our individual deep waters with Neptune, and our individual lived maturation process. Starting this new cycle. Jeez. Yeah. And then we would go into the Cancer new moon here. Then with Jupiter also having joined Cancer since the full moon. That's my Jupiter return. At the same time, Jupiter in Cancer, maybe that also, connects with that I feel a lot. I feel it's so expansive, the feeling. So maybe it's like a new beginning for feeling deeply and for integrating that feeling back into the wholeness of who we are. To not leave it outside anymore, to bring it back, like how Juno is here, retrograding into the middle of Scorpio, our deep waters, and also at the same time Jupiter expanding this new moon in early Cancer. Okay, it won't happen in an instant, but it's a new beginning for it anyways. Can see if we can make some more room for emotions. I think it's gonna happen. I think that's what it's about. So, I think I'm gonna do now just this 1 month at a time. It doesn't feel like relevant to look further ahead yet, even though I have the charts, but gonna read them closer to when it's time for July. And I hope this was interesting for you or inspire you to also share from your experience. Please do share your interpretations below or in the Discord chat, or let's schedule a call or we can talk about it in voice or something. That would be nice. Anyways, I'll talk about this more again later, but the astrologies. Yep. Thank you for listening and check out the other videos. Bye bye.